Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Umineko When They Cry. So last episode, we had a nice or fun conversation, right? Between George, Jessica, and Shannon there, right? When Jessica asked George if he had a girlfriend, and then George and Shannon were blushing every time, right? But then Ava came talking about George having some, I guess, marriage prospects or something like that, right? And then she said something like really harsh to Shannon there, right? That Shannon was a lowly servant and she should know her place. Yeah, it was very harsh what Ava did there. She gave Shannon basically a reality check there, right? It would never happen, especially on Ava's watch, right? Her lovely George. Yeah, she would never allow that. But yeah, let us continue and let's see what happens today. It's time for me to take a serious look at how full of myself I've been acting. I forgot. I'm furniture. Oh, okay, so this is Shannon, okay. Furniture isn't human. So I am a being who must feel gratitude for even being treated like a human. And I am not permitted to wish for anything more. People sometimes develop affection for furniture they're used to using. But that is an emotion on the human side and the furniture has no right to hope for such a thing. It's enough that furniture serves with a simple honesty, day after day. That feeling I got when talking to George-sama and Jessica-sama is the same as a forbidden drug to me. In other words, it may be an emotion I must never experience.
Shannon, 先ほどからぼんやりが過ぎます。体調でも悪いのですか?
I mean, with what Ava said there, of course, Shannon is gonna be like this.
いえ、失礼いたしました。
Natsui's words were right on the mark. Even Shannon couldn't believe that she hadn't noticed Natsui until she had been cold. Normally, it was essential that she focus on her cleaning at this time of day, but she'd spent all her time sighing and hardly making any progress.
たとえお客様がおられなくても、常に気を張っていなくてはなりません。そんな様では、後宮家に仕える使用人として情けありませんよ。
はい。以後注意します。
もうじき、当主様と主人がお帰りになられます。書斎の清掃は済んでいますか？階段の清掃は済んでいますか？
申し訳ございません。
ええ、知っています。ですから、ルノンにやらせておきました。
Lunon? Who's Lunon? A new character?
あなたがもたもたと廊下を清掃している時間で、彼女は書斎と階段の清掃を済ませてしまいましたよ。
Oh, I guess they did say, what do you call this? From time to time, they change servants, right? No, for example, today it's Shannon. Let's say tomorrow it's Cannon, and then they have another one, Lunon, right? So they have their duties, I guess. So today we're gonna maybe see Lunon, right? Who's Lunon?
それは、
Maybe that's
丁
why.
寧にお掃除をしていたから、時間がかかってしまって。
Yeah, maybe that's why we hadn't seen Kanon yet, right? Because Kanon is not on duty right now. Shannon was simple and honest, so she would always carry out her tasks seriously and properly without any omissions. So she was always slow with her work. In contrast, Lunon cleverly avoided doing extra work whenever it was possible. So she could complete her jobs with a result that looked almost the same to an outsider but in a much shorter time. In other words, she was a shrewd employee. Compared to that, it's probably fair to say that Shannon wasn't very shrewd at all, taking back to Natsuhi when Natsuhi was in a bad mood. Of course, there was nothing that Natsuhi couldn't stand more than a servant talking back. Her forehead creased and she spoke sternly. And yet her slow, admonishing style of speech was even more terrifying and finally made Shannon realize she had said the wrong thing.
ならば、存分に丁寧な清掃を心がけなさい。シャノン、あなたにこのまま大広間の清掃も命じます。当主様の大切な絵画が多数飾られ、後宮家への賓客をお招きすることもある大切な広間です。埃一つ残さないよう、あなたが納得するまで丁寧に清掃なさい。もちろん今日中にです。それを終えて私に報告するまで、食事も休憩も許しません。
Damn, you will not be permitted any food or rest until you finish that.
わかりましたね。
はい。
結構。使用人はその言葉だけを口にするように。次の口答えには、より厳しい罰を与えますから、そのつもりで。
The thing about Natsuhi is, she is very, very loyal to the family, right? Very, extremely loyal. But yeah, she can be like this. She did this to Shannon as well in the first episode. Yeah, even in this episode too, right? And in episode 1, when they showed the introductions for Natsuhi and Shannon, she was also doing this, right? She would scold Shannon.
よく胸に刻んでおきなさい。
Engrave these words into your heart.
はい。ご指導をありがとうございます。
どういたしまして。
You are welcome. Behaving as though her headache was troubling her, Natsuhi headed off down the corridor. When she couldn't see her anymore, Shannon hung her head and sighed. This was what happened when she had her head in the clouds. Even though I'm bad at everything I do, I should be able to at least carry out the cleaning as well as an average person can, right? It's because I can't even perform that very well that I'm crying so pathetically. But what's even more shameful is that not only have I been unable to perform a single bit of cleaning well, but just now when Natsuhi was scolding me, I imagined that person appearing and rescuing me. If only George-sama were here, would he casually step in and save me? Surely he'd showed up cheerfully, essentially acting like he didn't know what was going on, nimbly change the subject, and make me forget I'd ever been rebuked by Natsuhi. I kept envisioning him, suddenly appearing from the other side of the door, or the other end of the hallway. I envisioned the kind of person that would be appropriate or an appropriate partner for him in a marriage meeting. And I envisioned how unfitting I was for him. Ava clearly told me. It's been repeating over and over in my dreams.
姉さんは相変わらず不器用だね。
Isa Kanon is actually here, okay?
奥様は今朝から虫の居所が悪い。黙ってうなずいていればいいものを余計なことを言うから。
But I guess for Shannon, yeah, whenever Natsuhi talks like that, yeah, as what Kanon says, yeah, just hung your head in silence. Just don't say anything. Just follow what she says, right? And you'll be alright. It's yeah, just how the way it is, right? Just be silent. Kanon was suddenly there. His footsteps were also quieter than the cat's, and he never left any trace of his presence. He probably could have stood there forever and she still wouldn't have noticed him. The expression on Kanon's face was one of hatred. He made that expression for Shannon, who didn't know how to do it herself.
奥様も、そしてルノンも地獄へ落ちろ。
Madam and Lunon can fall into hell.
あいつは奥様がどこをチェックするか知ってて、そこしか掃除しない。
So Lunon is a very, very, what do you call this? I don't know the word.
さっきの掃除もそうだった。見ていたから知ってる。本当の意味での掃除なんかしてないんだよ。
But yeah, basically what she's doing is she knows where Natsui is gonna look, and that's the places she's only gonna clean, right? So rather than, for example, he say, clean the living room, she will only clean the place, for example, a place where Natsuhi would look at, right? And then she would not fully clean it. Yeah, something like that.
丁寧に掃除する姉さんに寄生してるだけの最低なやつだ。
そんな汚い言葉を使ってはダメよ。
A parasite.
汚い言葉はカノン君の綺麗な魂まで怪我してしまう。だからせめて私の前ではそんな言葉遣いをしないでね。
Kanon turned away as though sulking. It was a reaction that hid his true feelings, which was very like Kanon, but I was a little happy. He was getting mad for my sake.
大広間の掃除は大変だよ。僕も手伝う。
ありがとう。でも奥様に命じられたのは私だから大丈夫。カノン君にも自分のお仕事があるんでしょ。
汚らわしい仕事だよ。僕の魂なんてとっくに汚れてる。
Kanon then hung his head and bit his lower lip.
手伝ってくれるという言葉だけで私は十分。カノン君も自分の仕事に戻らないとあなたまで罰を受けることになっちゃう。そしたら私は悲しい。
Kanon knew Kanon's character well. Sometimes he didn't think enough about himself. If I don't refuse forcefully, he'll help me even if it means neglecting his own job. Kanon was a little sad that his goodwill had been rejected, but he realized that what he was doing would only hurt her more in the end, and he gave a single small sigh.
わかったよ。姉さんも頑張って。
それに私にも責任はあるから。
姉さんには責任なんて何もないよ。
あるの。だからもう言って。
Kanon-kun's face showed that he still hadn't completely accepted it, but without being any more obstinate, he disappeared. Even though Kanon-kun came to give me words of comfort when I was down, even so, I was dejected again because it wasn't him. Yeah, she wanted to hear these words from George, right? So it would make her feel much better, but yeah, George was not here. That in itself was a sin. It went far beyond any dream the likes of me could be permitted to see. I don't know my place. Shannon, who had neglected breakfast, already felt her concentration begin to waver. But if she didn't finish cleaning up the reception hall, she wouldn't receive Natsui's permission to eat. That cruel Natsui had surely told the kitchen something to that effect. I have to respectfully receive Madam's punishment. That's right. My position in the world is furniture, and I've been intoxicated by a dream that's beyond me. I gotta feel bad for her, honestly. I wish she would not think like this, right? Thinking yourself as furniture, a lower class person. God damn. I finished cleaning the hallway and went to the reception hall. Maybe my hunger made my nose more sensitive. I could sense a delicious aroma wafting from the kitchen, even though it was far away, and my empty stomach was encouraged even more. Until I finished up here, I wouldn't get any soup. I just had to resolve myself to doing it. Several portraits were hanging in the reception hall. One of those portraits was thought to hold a special meaning amongst the servants. It was a portrait of the witch. That wasn't its true name, but everyone in the mansion called it that. The name of the woman with the elegant blonde hair drawn as the subject of that portrait was Beatrice. It was whispered that she might be the former mistress of Kinzo, the family head, and also that she was a great witch who had given Kinzo the gold of legend. Dude, honestly though, I want to know, like, oh, what is this gold, man? Like, it's probably real, right? But yeah, I want to know how it happened. Like, you can't just get gold in an instant, right? So yeah, I want to know. I really want to know the background of this, and for Beatrice as well. This is gonna be interesting. The witch Beatrice, master of the night on Rokinjima. I mean, yeah, we saw Beatrice in the tea party, right? She was kind of... I don't know how to describe her, but... yeah, I want to see her actual background, I mean. Like, yeah, how did she exist? Who really is she, right? I can't wait for that to happen. The witch Beatrice, master of the night in Rokinjima, she was gracious to those who respected her, but she would surely curse those who made light of her. It was in Shannon's character not to neglect rules and beliefs such as those. So she thought of the portrait of her other master as that person herself and always treated it carefully, treasuring it. And it had become part of her daily routine to tell the witch, who only existed inside the portrait, the secrets of her heart. She was furniture. Furniture doesn't complain, cannot complain, so she had no right to speak her mind about her difficult days. She had no right to open her mouth and say those words, so she at least spoke her mind inside her heart. She spoke her mind inside her heart using words she couldn't say aloud and protested to the formless witch. Of course, the witch didn't answer. She didn't console and she didn't laugh it off. But yeah, in the first episode, right? We saw Shannon. Yeah, it was Shannon, right? She was breaking something there. It was a mirror or something, right? And she shouted Beatrice's name. So I guess, yeah, this event here that we're seeing right now and last episode is, I guess, events before that thing happened. Honestly, I'm confused. It's really hard to tell the timeline because, yeah, there's no time here. See? No time. Only episode 2, chapter 1. Furniture. Only that. Back then, they would list what date it was, right? But nothing right now. Of course, the witch didn't answer, she didn't console, and she didn't laugh at it off. Shannon could only interpret the silence as she liked, as though the witch was responding agreeably.
ベアトリーチェ様、みすぼらしい私の話を聞いてください。
As Shannon wiped the dust from the witch's portrait, she spoke that inside her heart.
私は確かにエヴァ様の言う通り、無能で無教養な家具です。人じゃない。だから、恋をする資格などないかもしれません。でも、だったら、どうして恋を知ることのできる心など、お与えになったのでしょうか。
At that point, Shannon held back her tears for a moment. The sound of the rain, which had started falling along with the chill air in the reception hall, made her feel as though her shabbiness had increased another level.
本当の家具なら、心なんかない。だから、人を愛したりしなくて済むじゃないですか。
Yeah, but I do wonder though, did they teach her to say this? To talk about that she is furniture, right? Even Kanon says this sometimes, right? But yeah, Shannon is the one who says this all the time. I think Genji said it like one time, right? In the first episode. I think only one time. But yeah, Shannon is the one who always says this. So I guess maybe, let me look at this. The characters. Maybe that when they were training her to be a servant, right? They were, what do you call this? Telling her that she is furniture. Pretty much like reminding her every time until it actually stuck on her. Maybe Natsuhi was doing that. I mean, Chiyo is, she is a part-timer though, but she's been in the family for a long, long time, right? Maybe Natsuhi. Because yeah, Shannon was here in this family ever since she was young, right? Okay.
だから苦しまない。私も同じ家具なのに。どうして心なんかあるんですか？こんな苦しくて辛い思いをするなら、こんな心なんて与えないでほしかった。
なるほど。
Wait, hold up. Wait, is she actually talking? Is that Beatrice?
家具に心を与えたか。あれも時には愉快なことをする。
Okay, this is interesting now. Okay. The Witcher never answered or laughed, answered and laughed. Was it my imagination? Yeah. That I seriously thought Beatrice would only show herself during the tea parties, right? And she's actually here, I guess. Was I hearing things? No, that's wrong. After all, the next words became a voice and I could hear them, not with my heart, but with my ears.
人間は世界を構成する元素について紀元前の昔から探求を続けてきた。
I like whenever we hear Beatrice, her songs, right? It's kind of like trickster. Yeah, kind of sound like a trickster. Not really sinister, but yeah, like trying to kind of trickster, like playfully. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it kind of sounds like that.
古代ギリシャ人たちは風、火、水、土の4つで世界の説明を試みたという。その後も数千年かけて人間たちはその4つに様々な元素を加え、5代、6代、7代、8代、12代と様々な解釈で世界を説明しようとしたが、唯一の真実である1。しかし星の導きによって現れた一人の男がついにこの世界を構成する一なる元素を説明した。何かわかるか？
I mean, of course, Shannon is it's kind of confused right now. Like, who the hell is talking, right? Shannon fearfully turned around. Okay, is she actually there? Oh my god. She is there, right there. She existed. Not as an illusion, but as a reality. The contrast made by the lightning made it clear that this woman was no mere daydream.
それは愛よ。
The witch of the portrait elegantly held a golden pipe to her mouth and giggled. She laughed at the ignorance that causes humankind's thoughts to stray far from the most simplest answer.
その男は世界のすべてを愛で説明した。それこそが一なる元素。男は最小の数で世界の構成を説明しきったのだ。なんとも単純明快にして豪快爽快愉快痛快。 やがてその男の生まれた年は西暦紀元と呼ばれるようになったがな。
Shannon lost any words to speak. She thought that when first meeting an unknown guest, her first word should be to ask the person's name. But without saying anything, Shannon knew this person's name, so she refrained. No, surely it would be the greatest disrespect for someone who lived or worked on this island to ask this woman her name. After all, she was the other master of this island besides Kinzo.
ベアトリーチェ様。
いかにも。
But yeah, I do wonder if the other servants saw Beatrice like this as well, right? In episode 1, they were like, yeah, Beatrice is really here. She's really real, right? Did they only see butterflies, or did they actually see her like this, right? Maybe.
わらわがベアトリーチェである。千年を経ても人がわらわを見て最初に浮かべる表情は変わらんな。
The witch giggled at how Shannon's reaction didn't betray her expectations. Shannon realized that she had met with a being that mustn't be met with, and she took a step backwards. That's where the wall and the portrait were, so even as she gazed at the witch's portrait was touching her back.
お前の悩みは愛ゆえよ。それはすなわち世界の一なる元素。つまりこの世のすべてだ。それが満たされぬということは世界が満たされぬに同じこと。それは穴の開いた水筒に水を汲み続けるのに似ている。汲めども汲めども満たされぬ永遠の心の砂漠。人間の基礎にして全てにして現在。わかるか？知識の実を口にしたアダムとイブが知ったのは愛だったのだ。それを知ったがゆえに人は楽園を追われ人足り得たのだ。すなわちそれは愛を知り苦しむからこそ人であること。心優しき娘よ、そなたは誇っていい。それを知った今、そなたはもはや家具にあらず。
You are no longer furniture.
そなたは今こそ人間なのだ。我が名にかけてそれを認めようぞ。凡庸の身には理解も辛き話か。
I mean, no, she's just super surprised to see you actually here. I mean, I think anyone would be, right?
まあよいわ。
She probably doesn't even understand what you're talking about.
許すがいい。久しぶりに人間と話すのでな。饒舌が過ぎたことを謝ろう。
Without wanting for a reply from Shannon, Beatrice laughed pleasantly for a while.
詫びと言ってはなんだが、わらわの力でそなたのその願望を叶えてやってもよいぞ。
Okay. How is she gonna do that though? The meaning of those words surprised Shannon even more than the witch's sudden appearance.
そなたを思い人と添い遂げさせてやってもよいと言っている。
Okay.
本来ならばそれに見合うだけの対価を要求するところだがわらわは機嫌が良い。それにそなたはわらわへの礼を欠かさず今日までよく尽くした。それへの褒美としてやってもよい。
本当ですか？
Normally, Shannon would have been shocked and struck dumb by this seemingly impossible guest. However, almost as though she was already under the witch's spell, Shannon responded.
わらわの魔法にかかれば、思い人と結ばれるように取り計らうなど造作もない。
So what kind of magic is that? Is she gonna kill everyone? And then the only ones left is George and Shannon, so they can be together now? Is that how it's gonna work? Yes, of course. Shannon almost said that without blinking, but held back with her last bit of common sense. After all, this is a witch. A sinister being. The witch Beatrice is clearly trying to slip in through the cracks in my heart and take me prisoner. That sort of temptation, which so many fairy tale picture books warned me about when I was young, is right in front of me right now.
イフもまた敬いの一つよ。心地よくはあるが、これでは拉致が開かぬな。わらわは確かにそなたらが意味嫌う魔女像から離れはせぬ。だがわらわは敬う者には好意を返す。それは人間も同じであろう。そのように身構えられて好意を返せる人間もまたおらぬと思うがな。
失礼しました。そんなつもりは。
Shannon eventually realized how rude she was acting towards this guest, and she finally digested the words that had been spoken to her a short while ago. You are no longer furniture. Now you are human. As she reflected upon those words, Shannon felt as though the witch had understood all her worries.
さっきのその褒美の話って何ですか？
お前がその心を虜にする男と結ばれるように取り計らってもいいと言っている。わらわの肖像画を日々丹念に磨いてくれたことへの礼とでも思うがよい。安心せよ。対価は求めぬ。
Really though? Really? Is she asking nothing for a return?
わらわは気前がよい。だがな、対価は求めぬが頼みがある。
Okay, what is this request then? Look, here it comes, yeah. Nothing in return, but I do have a request for you, by the way. Part of Shannon's heart sent her a warning. This is what all those scary picture books she'd read when she was little had warned her about.
この島のすぐ近くの海に岩が覗き、そこに小さな鳥居と祠が設けてあるのを知っているか？
Okay, so Shannon immediately remembered it. When you reach Rokkenjima by boat, there was a torii and a shrine on a reef that was too small to be called even an islet. I'm pretty sure Kumasawa-san told me its history, but I can't remember it well. A traveling Shugenja, a kind of holy man, had built it or prayed there or something.
知っていますが、それが何か。
魔に通じぬものに一から説明はせぬ。早い話がだな。あれには参っておるのだ。実はな、あの祠の中にある鏡が収められている。
Okay, so pretty much confirmed now, right? That this setting right here is before, I guess, the events of the one we saw earlier in the beginning of episode 2, right? George Shannon's date, and then I guess the mirror as well, right? So all of these events that we've been seeing recently are, yeah, before those things.
それをそなたに割ってほしいというのだ。
So now they're telling us why Shannon broke it, right? We didn't understood it in the beginning. Was like, what is this, right? So it's because of that. Beatrice's request. It was quite a suspicious request. Shannon didn't know the details, but anything stored inside a shrine would have to be something sacred. And she wants me to break it? Why would a witch ask a human for help instead of doing it herself? There was no need for Shannon to speak her thoughts aloud. Beatrice responded to Shannon's reasonable doubt before Shannon could give her answer.
あの鏡の魔力はわらわの魔力と相対する。人の言葉でうまく説明できぬな。例えれば食器の違いとでも言おうか。あの鏡はフォークで、わらわの力はスープなのだ。フォークでスープは飲めまい？
Yes?
あの鏡の押し付けさえなければ、わらわはスープを飲むのにぴったりのスプーンが用意できるというわけだ。それさえあれば、スープも飲めるし、岩ろうだって掘り抜けるぞ。目玉だってえぐり貫ける。だったか？
何の話かわかりません。私の無教養のせいだとしたら謝ります。
こういうことだ。あの忌々しい鏡をわらわのために割る手間をかけてくれたなら、その褒美としてそなたの願いを叶えてやるということだ。今日のわらわは本当に機嫌がいい。そなたが望むなら願い事を変えて金蔵に授けた黄金を丸ごとくれてやることにしてもよいぞ。
Oh, dude. Can you? I would choose the gold, right? You're rich. Then Ava would accept you then. Lazitas, you may even change your wish and receive all the gold I bestowed upon Kinzo if you so desired.
お断りします。
なんと。
When she heard Shannon's words, Beatrice realized for the first time that her expectations had been betrayed.
理由があれば聞かせよ。誤解があるなら解こうぞ。
理由なんてよくわかりません。でも今日までこの島は平和で何も起こりませんでした。なら鏡を割らなくても今日までと同じ平和がこれからも続いていくはずです。
なるほどなるほど。そなたの言う通りだ。あれを割らぬなら割れぬ今日までと同じ日々が明日も明後日も続こうぞ。わらわが絶対の保証をしようではないか。ベアトリーチェの名にかけて言う。割れぬ今日までと同じ日々が明日も明後日も続こうぞ。
But yeah, the way it's written there though, right? It's a different font. The unbreakable days before this time will continue into tomorrow and the next day. Okay. No. I think maybe we can think if the font is kind of different. Maybe it is a lie, right? And we need to see. Yeah, there's like lines like this in other words, in other scenes, but I don't remember, so I didn't really look into it, I mean. But seeing Beatrice say this, maybe we need to remember stuff like this, right? Yeah. Unbreakable days for this time will continue into tomorrow and the next day, right? I mean, we know what happened when the conference came, right? It was disaster, tragedy.
それは永久に、永遠に。
Shannon felt overwhelmed by an eerie illusion. The mirror probably existed for the purpose of restraining the witch. So if Shannon broke it, the person who stood to gain was supposedly the witch herself. And yet, Shannon felt somehow that she had to do it for her own sake. It felt like some premise had been switched around.
わらわはあくまでも
褒美としてそなたに思いを成就する機会を与えたに過ぎぬ。割ろうが割るまいがそなたの自由だ。割ればわらわはそなたの願いを叶える。割らねば今日までの明日が永遠に続く。そなたの願いは永遠に叶うことはない。わかるか？
Okay.
何を言っているか。
Oh, we got the organ again. The witch was speaking. She was pressing Shannon, saying she must break the mirror if she ever wanted to be united with George. It was a declaration that Shannon's feelings would never be brought to fruition unless she broke it.
やめてください。そんなの聞きたくない。
そなたを苦しめたかったわけではないのだがな。まあいい。愛に苦しさを感じるも人間の醍醐味よ。その感情を存分に楽しむがよい。だが我が力を借りたいと願ったならいつでもあの鏡を割るがよい。そして我が名を叫び呼び覚ますがよい。わらわは必ず約束を守るだろう。これならば文句はあるまい？そなたに今すぐの決断を迫るわけではない。気楽であろう。
Sorry. To Shannon, who was burning with infatuation and worried by love, being tempted constantly and eternally with a way out was truly a cruel trial.
この約束に期限は設けぬが、願いを叶える魔法には期限がある。その期限はわらわが決めるのではない。そなたの思い人が自ら決める。意味がわかるか？
わかりません。
そなたの思い人が愛のちぎりを結ぶべき相手を決めた時がその期限となる。
Okay.
わらわは魔女だが鬼ではない。互いを愛し合う二人を引き裂く魔法は持ち合わせていないのでな。
But what if George still chooses Shannon though, right? Like George wouldn't go to any other woman but to Shannon still. Like right now, because of what Ava said, right? Shannon is kinda... She's like thinking, what do I do, right? Yeah, what do I do? But what if George... Yeah, he doesn't do the marriage meetings or, yeah, marriage proposals like that. Still goes to Shannon instead, right? So, all of this would be, yeah, useless then.
そなたの思い人は近いうちに見合いに臨むそうだな。
I mean, anyone can go to a marriage meeting, but they can deny it.
そなたは世界で一番その男のことを思っているかもしれん。だが世界で一番ふさわしいとは限らんぞ。わらわは見合いの相手を知っている。
I know. Okay, honestly, I'm feeling if it's the font is italic, right? Maybe it's fake. I know, or not sure, something like that, right?
その娘は世界で一番後宮ジョージにふさわしい。
That girl is the most suitable for Oshinomiya George in the entire world.
良い学校を出て良い成績を残し落ち着きがあって思慮深い。お前より美しく、お前より聡明で、お前よりふさわしい。
Yeah, look at this. The other one's more beautiful than you, wiser than you. Yeah, maybe that is true, but this one more suitable than you. It's italic, a different font again, right? Yeah, maybe she's lying.
お前のような無知無能無教養の娘がどうしてふさわしかろうか。お前が一番知っている。お前が一番ふさわしくない。お前と後宮ジョージが結ばれるなど想像するだけでも罪深い愚かしいことよ。愚かしい愚かしい身の程知れい。義務教育に行かせてもらった恩も忘れて。
Yeah, this is what Ava said. They're pretty much, yeah, pretty much the same.
身の程を知りなさい。ジョージはお父様の血を引く孫の中では嫡男に当たるのよ。ひょっとしたら未来の後宮家を背負うことになるかもしれない人。その期待に応えるためにたくさんの勉強を重ねて素晴らしい大学に入り素晴らしい成績を残しているわ。
This is so weird, man. It's pretty much the same words.
そんなジョージと無能無資格無教養な使用人風情が釣り合うと本気でお思い？
やめろ！シャノンをいじめるな！
Oh, Kanon actually sees this as well.
貴様は誰だ！
At that time, as Shannon held her head, trying to protect her heart from the blade of Beatrice's words, Kanon ran in front of her. Kanon didn't care who this woman was. If this was an enemy tormenting Shannon, whom he loved and respected as a sister, nothing else mattered.
カノン君、下がって。この方は。
It seemed Kanon also realized that the being standing before him was the witch of the portrait, and also that she was something to be feared.
シャノンに褒美を取らせたかっただけだが、わらわの言葉が過ぎ、いじめてしまったようだな。それは謝ろう。だが、先ほどの約束は、そなたへの褒美として残してゆく。わらわの力が必要ならば、いつでも呼び出すといい。その方法はすでに教えた。では、これにて今宵は退散しよう。敵意の眼差しは心地よくあるが、美容にはちと悪いのでな。
消えろ。お前が何者か知らないが、お前はシャノンを脅かしている。二度と現れるな。
Kanon's words seemed to deeply annoy the witch.
言葉を選ばぬか下賤め。わらわは敬う者に寛大だが、敬わぬ者には残酷であるぞ。
While she still smiled, the witch's face began to twist itself. Then an oppressive feeling that couldn't be noticed with any of the five senses gradually filled the room. Even though they couldn't understand it, they immediately realized it was something terrifying. When you swim in the ocean and something large passes by in the water beneath you, you want to escape the land even before you learn what it is. That's exactly what this was like.
おやめください、ベアトリーチェ様。カノン君はまだ子供なんです。言葉遣いについては謝ります。
Kanon placed his body between the witch and Shannon. There was a thin sweat on his forehead. At that time, the witch certainly held Kanon's fate in the palm of her hand. She didn't even need to lift a finger. She held her grasp on his fate so tight that a single twist of her smile could easily crush it. Kanon understood it as well. So he started sweating. His knees felt weak. However, Beatrice abruptly released that feeling of tension and laughed.
よかろう。そなたが求めるなら特別に許そう。カノンとやら彼女に免じて今宵は許して使わす。感謝するがよいぞ。さて今宵はこれで退散する。別れの挨拶に一つ土産を残そう。二人とも左手の手のひらをこちらへかざせ。
When Beatrice grinned broadly and snapped her fingers, their left hands stretched out in front of them against her will and their palms opened. It was a strange sensation, as though only their left hands now belonged to someone else. It felt like only their left hands had become puppets, which were being pulled by strings hanging down from the ceiling.
これはなん
Ganon resisted, but he couldn't retract his hand of his own free will.
騒ぐな。すぐに済む。
Okay, what did she do? When Beatrice held her pipe aloft, a gold-colored sparkling dust came out of the smoke and hovered in the air. That sparkle eventually became several gold butterflies. The beautiful butterflies danced freely through the reception hall, forming a fantastical and beautiful world. And two of those butterflies alighted on the palms of Shannon and Kanon's hands. There was a sharp pain as though they had been burned when the two of them tried to examine their palms that hold on their bodies, which had been there a second ago, had gone without a trace.
あざ、
She marked both of them.
これは
There was now a tiny burn mark on the palm of her hand, and it was shaped like a butterfly.
これは何の真似だ。
Apparently Kanon had the same mark on his hand. He stared at the witch hatefully.
単なる挨拶よ。他意はない。ただのあざに過ぎぬからほんの数日で言えよう。手当ても必要ない。それはわらわが確かに今日ここにあり、そなたと約束を交わしたことを明日に忘れさせぬための印だ。わらわとの出会いは刺激が強い。翌朝にわらわとの出会いを夢か幻と思い込み忘れようとする人間もとゆっくり考えるがいいぞ、シャノン。そしてゆっくりと休み、明日の朝日に我が印を見て改めて考えてみるがいいだろう。わらわは何も強要せぬ。そなたが自らの意志で自由に未来を決めるがいい。もっとも欲する者の対価がその程度で済むとはな。悲恋をテーマに戯曲を書き上げた偉人たちが悔しがるぞ。それでは縁があったらまた会おう。久しぶりの会話は実に楽しかったぞ。さらばだ、カグども。
Okay, she finally disappeared. Just like that. Beatrice's body crumbled like smoke and blew away. It was golden smoke, no, a cloud of gold butterflies. They scattered in all directions inside the reception hall, leaving a golden splash before disappearing into thin air. After that, only the cold silence was felt, or left, I mean. It was so silent, it made both of them think they might have been daydreaming until just a moment ago, which was why the witch had left those remarks. She had done so to make it impossible for them to think of this as a daydream. As Shannon and Kanon remembered the butterfly bruises on their hands and the pain they'd felt when they'd been made, they kept standing still, stunned. And from that moment on, Shannon was tormented by the days of suffering and conflict. That was a very, very long chapter. Okay, we're with Jessica now. I wonder why she's saying what. I wonder. Maybe George is finished talking with Grandpa, with his parents, right? But yeah, I was quite surprised there. Beatrice actually showed herself, right? I was saying in the tea party in episode 1, I was like, she ain't real unless she showed herself here. In the main story, right? And then she showed herself now, and then she disappeared. So yeah, magic I guess is real now. We will see though, but yeah, when Butler was talking to her, Butler was really like, a witch is not real. I don't know if he said magic is not real, but he said witch is not real, right? But yeah, this would be very interesting once Butler is here. Once we finally see the other ones, right? I cannot wait. But yeah, now we know why, what do you call this? Shannon did what she did, right, in the first episode. Why she broke the mirror. It's confusing, man. They should have just named this chapter, right? No, yeah, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. But I'm talking about, yeah, episode, for example, we're in episode 2 right now. So, when I say like episode, sometimes, when we're doing like, talking like this in between the scenes, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna refer to the episode of the Let's Play of this episode 2, for example, right? It can be confusing that they named it episodes. Unlike for in Higurashi, it was chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth, right? But yeah. Let's see what happens here. Why is Jessica like this, right? But yeah, very nice to see Beatrice though. Even though I said like, I don't believe her. I'm gonna side with Butler. But now she's actually here now though. Showed herself. But yeah, if she shows herself to other people as well, I need to see that. Yeah, I need to see that. Not just Shannon and Cannon. The Oshinomiya family itself. She better show herself to them, right? She better do that. And let's see what happens when the time comes, right? So yeah, anyways, we are gonna continue this and do more of Umineko When They Cry, episode 2 in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.